Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. So today we will learn how to collect HTTP metrics for .NET application using OpenTelemetry and Prometheus. So as you know, monitoring the application performance is critical for maintaining reliability, diagnosing issues and optimizing the performance. So we will cover how to instrument the .NET application using OpenTelemetry and expose metrics to Prometheus for detailed analysis. So first, let's see the prerequisites. You should have an AWS account with Ubuntu 24.04 EC2 instance up and running. Then you should have an .NET SDK installed in your system. So our first step is set up Ubuntu EC2 instance. So if you don't have the SDK installed, you can install it just by following these steps. So first we will update the package list. So let's copy this command and paste it. Now our package list is updated. So next, let's install the .NET SDK. Now our .NET SDK is also installed. So our next step is set up project repository. So for this example, we will use a sample .NET application from our GitHub repository. So let's clone that repository. For that, we will use git clone, then repository. After this, let's navigate to the project directory. Now we are inside the project directory. So our next step is instrumenting the application with OpenTelemetry. So first open the program.cs file using the nano command. So here we will add the some lines. We are going to add the using system globalization and using Microsoft ASP.NET Core MVC at the top of the code. So let's copy them. So this is the import section in the code. This line imports the necessary namespaces, including those for OpenTelemetry, ASP.NET Core Matrix, and Prometheus. And this each namespace provides the classes and methods for building the application's telemetry and HTTP functionalities. Then next is creating the web application. Here, the web application create builder. This initializes the ASP.NET Core application builder and .service name, which is role dice, defines the name of the service, which we will use later in telemetry to identify the source of traces and metrics. The next is adding services to the container. This adds the supports for controllers to the application, which enables the MVC framework to handle the HTTP request using the controller method. The next is create a custom meter for API. This will create a custom meter named roll dice matrix to track the metrics for this application, which we have seen, and a counter matrix called HTTP request total right here is also defined to track the total number of HTTP requests. This will track down the total number of HTTP requests. Then we are configuring the OpenTelemetry for logging. This configures the OpenTelemetry to handle the logging with the service name, roll dice, add console exporter. This sets up the console logging to output telemetry data, which is useful for debugging. Then we are configuring the OpenTelemetry in this section. This will configure the OpenTelemetry for tracing and HTTP metrics. This will instruments the HTTP requests to track HTTP client interaction and also the metrics, and exposes the trace data to the console, and it will expose the metrics to the Prometheus using the add Prometheus exporter method. Then next is building the application and configuring the middleware. Here, the app use routing sets up the request routing app.use HTTP matrix. This integrates the Prometheus HTTP matrix, which automatically tracks the details about incoming HTTP request. Then exposing the matrix endpoint right here in this section. This will map the endpoints of the for the controllers, and the map matrix exposes the slash matrix endpoint, allowing the Prometheus to scrap matrix from the application. Then next is handler roll dice method and roll dice method. The handle roll dice method requests to the roll dice endpoint, and the roll dice method generates the random number between 1 to 6, simulating the dice roll. And then lastly, we are running the application. This will start the web application and begins listening for incoming HTTP request. So let's save the code. Now next, we will open the My Prometheus app.csproj5. Here we are going to update the version of some dependencies. Make sure that all the dependencies are to the latest version so that our code doesn't return the error. So this project file set up the .NET application to leverage the modern observability tools and web standards. The first is project definition. Here, this part specifies that the project uses the Microsoft .NET.SDK, .web SDK, which is specifically designed for building web applications using ASP.NET Core. This will include all the necessary tools and dependencies for a web project. Then next is property group section. This has target framework, which specifies the .NET version, which is 8.0 here. Then the nullable, this setting this to enable nullable the reference types in C hash. This will ensure that the code handles the null values, which will reducing the null references errors. Then next is implicit using. When this is set to enable, this feature will automatically include the common using directives. Then last is the item group section. This section will list all the external dependencies which the project requires. So let's save this file. After this, our next step is build and run the application. So let's build the .NET application using .NET build command. So let's copy it, paste it. After building the application, let's run it using .NET run command. So as you can see, our application is running. Now this command will start the application and it will expose the matrix endpoint for Prometheus to scrap. Now let's test the application by accessing the endpoint, which will return the HTTP matrix. So open up the web browser. http:// then you should give your own public IP address of your Ubuntu EC2 instance. So let's copy it and paste it. Then port 8080/matrix. So as you can see, our application is running successfully and returning the matrix. So by integrating the OpenTelemetry and Prometheus with your .NET application, you can gain the insights into the HTTP matrix, request counts, response times, and error rates. And this setup will help you to ensure that your application performs efficiently, which makes it easier to diagnose the issues and improve its overall performance. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you.